The MSI Project Zero case, also known as the MAG PANO M100R PZ, is a new 270-degree PC gaming case designed to usher in the future of clutter-free gaming setups. Instead of the traditional three-sided case, this fancy rig provides a clean three-pane glass design which is cleaner and easier to use. Of course, the MAG PANO M100R PZ isn't just the case you can pick up and use with your current components. The case has been designed specifically for back connect motherboards. For those who don't know, these motherboards feature power connectors and other USB connectors on the reverse side. So instead of feeding all your cables through the middle divider on your PC case to connect them to the motherboard's port on the front, everything on these motherboards connects at the back. While this approach doesn't change the performance of your PC, the visual experience is a big push here. MSI sent me an already made MAG PANO M100R PZ White Edition to fiddle around with. Sadly, this PC came already set up, so I can't judge the installation process for you. However, I did remove some of the components and reinstall them to gauge just how user-friendly this PC case is. In short, this is likely the easiest and most hassle-free experience I've had on the market. You need to keep in mind that in order to use this sort of case, you'll need certain components, most importantly the back connector motherboard. MSI shipped this case with the B760M Project Zero motherboard. It is a micro ATX motherboard with all the usual I/O flipped to the back side. The motherboard slots into the case's mold perfectly. Ports are then divided up into the 6 portions on the board for the 6 cutouts. This means that all the usual connectors will plug into the back as you would usually plug them into the front. The case then includes a compartment between the case door and the motherboard to allow a bit more than usual breathing room for these wires and connectors. Of course, this does come with its own cable management challenges because cables need space, and even with the back connectors, the place can get cluttered. This is mainly due to the fact that, like all PCs, the MAG PANO M100R PZ requires an ARGB controller, power supply, and various tethered connectors to function. But MSI's focus isn't about tidying up the back of the case, it is about tidying up the front. However, I must say that even with the back, it was pretty impressive too. Even with all the connectors plugged in, there's ample room for cable management. But I always say out of sight and out of mind, and with the door closed, who cares anyway? While one would think that using a new approach to set up their PC, namely using the back connectors instead of the front, would be worrisome, it actually provided a rather seamless experience. Sure, there are a few things I would like to see changed. For starters, MSI's cooler they included in the case uses way too many connectors. Most brands have now gone for wire-free magnetic coolers, which reduce the wire buildup from 2 connectors per fan to just 1 for the entire setup. The fans are then tethered together using magnets, and all RPM and RGB information is sent through these connectors. It would have been nice to see this on this build to further push the cleanliness of this case. There's also a few things which, due to the move to the back connect ports, need to be taken into consideration. The USB-C connector, for example, doesn't work without an additional L-shaped adapter. This is because when the case door closes, the standard wire that comes with the case sticks out and gets in the way when closing the door. The adapter wasn't included in this build, which means the front I/O USB-C port was rendered useless. So you'll want to make sure that you get this adapter with the case. MSI does make these adapters. Most of the cable management for the I/O ports are tethered to an L-shaped connector, so I know it's possible. That aside, the MAG PANO M100R PZ was a surprisingly sleek experience. Things I thought would be a hassle just weren't. For example, the motherboard connector, which is a 24-pin adapter, slotted into the back of the board, and the case door closed without any hassle. The gap between the board and the door is more than meets the eye, which also makes this possible. I also enjoyed how the fan setup allowed for various cooler sizes. MSI included a 240mm cooler in the build, but you could easily have installed a 360mm model too. You could also install the cooler on the vertical fan slot if you wanted to, however that would mean finding another position for the GPU, either by using a vertical mount to make space for the radiator or using a smaller GPU, but it is possible. The case is also very easy to clean. The top shell comes off with 2 screws and the main glass face is easily removable. The front glass panels are also removable by pushing out 2 clips on the top and the bottom. This means the entire glass front can be taken off, cleaned and replaced. I could see myself showering these things down quite often to keep the PC fresh and clean. The case also features what MSI calls an instant light loop button to quickly change the RGB fans to various colors. I struggled to find a color that didn't suit this case. The panel glass design makes everything look so clean. Near that button you'll also find a USB port, power button, audio jack combo port and the USB-C port, which again doesn't work without the L-shaped adapter at the back. Last but not least, when it comes to the thermals, the case doesn't hold back either. The back panel includes 2 large strips of perforated sections, allowing air to move in and out of the main chamber. The top is also entirely made of holes for extra airflow, and the bottom of the case too. You also have the usual back vents. I do enjoy this case for what it is. I do hope that MSI works on a case which can house standard ATX boards and perhaps non-Project Zero components, because the larger case and extra room for fans and GPU positions would be pretty cool and allow for much more versatility. But the smaller scale of this PC does look great. You also need to keep in mind that there are other 270-degree cases out there, of which offer far more versatility than this. MSI kind of wants you to stick to its Project Zero motherboards for this model, but that comes with its own hardware limitations and limited radiator support. You can pick up other cases which come with more space and more radiator positioning. Basically, unless you're building an MSI Project Zero PC, there are better cases on the market. So those are my thoughts on this MSI Project Zero gaming case. Are you looking to pick one up? Let me know in the comments down below. As usual, please do consider liking and subscribing for more content like this, and visit glitch.online for more gaming tech news and reviews. Until next time, farewell.